In this video, I'm going to show you how to completely fix any sort of broken shading in Blender. I'm going to show you the easy way to do it, and I'm going to also show you a technical example of what's actually happening so you're not just guessing in the future. You actually know why your shading is messed up. So let's hop right into it. If you're new to Blender and want to learn our entire hard surface modeling workflow in under 2 weeks with about 30 to 60 minutes per day of work, check out our accelerator program in the link in the top of the description. Alright, before we can do anything, you need to understand what a normal is and how it works. I'm going to give you a quick rundown here. It's very easy. Go out here to this button right here in edit mode. You're going to go to this button here. This is going to display the Vertex Normals. So basically a normal is anything perpendicular, all right? So if I were to turn on face normals, for example, you're gonna see we have this perpendicular line. It's literally 90 degrees to this face right here. Same for this one, right? Normal is just 90 degrees, in this case to the face, and then for the vertices right here as well. So I'm just gonna turn off the face normals. They're not that important really. But if I go into the side here, you can see this vertex, perpendicular, normal. This one right here, since we have two edges, going in to this vertex here, it has to average it. So it's going to be about 45 degrees, or not about, exactly 45 degrees out that way. And then obviously this one's just going to be 90 degrees straight up. So if I go in here and I just take this edge, let's go ahead and just give it a chamfer with Control B. You're going to see now what is going to happen is this vertex is going to have a new normal direction. If I average this and this together, the average is going to point in this direction where that line is going. And the more bevel segments I add, the different the angle is going to be, because it has to average out these points. So for example, here, this average between these two is going to be in this direction. The average between these two is going to be in that direction. So basically, the more segments I add, the different effects we're going to get here. Now, what I want you to pay attention to is not these normals on the interior of the bevel. I want you to pay attention to the normals here on the exterior, the holding edges of the bevel, as we call it. So you're going to see that right here, we have a little bit of a slant, right? It's not exactly 90 degrees. It's a little bit slanted right here. That's the average between these two. Same for down here, the average between these two angles is going to be in this direction, and it's not quite 90 degrees. Now, this is going to be very, very important coming up here in a second. I just want you to kind of understand what's happening here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take this shape, the same exact shape. Let's go ahead and maybe just give it a solidification just so I can run a Boolean on it. We can just go in that direction there. That should be fine. And then I'll even shade it auto smooth so we have some nice shading here. And now what I want to do is I just want to essentially get in here, all right, and just add in a Boolean. So I'm just going to go into box cutter. I'm just going to add in a couple Booleans here. So we're going to go to array, which is going to be the V key. Sorry, going to do that. It looks good. And then I can run an extra array right here. So I can just go in, I can add a new array, which is just going to be the A button. We'll just do something like that. And then we're going to have this shape right here. And then I'm just going to add in a bevel modifier right here. Now, when I add in that bevel modifier and I go to a matte cap, it's going to be very, very obvious that the shading on this surface is completely distorted. If you really want to see the effect, you can go here into this matte cap. It's just an absolute mess. Up here is clean, but you can see down here it's very, very distorted. And if you go into, a more reflective matte cap, that's going to be very obvious. You can see all of these shading errors right here on the side. Now, let me show you the reason this is occurring. So what I have here is I have a solidify. I can just go ahead and apply that. And then I'm going to go ahead and apply these Booleans right here. But most importantly, this bevel modifier I want to apply as well. Now, normally we don't apply bevel modifiers, right? But in this case, I want to demonstrate something. So I'm going to apply that. So if I go here into the side view, you're going to see all of the vertex normal information, okay? So I'm going to go here into the side view, and I'm just going to zoom in maybe into one of these vertices right here. It doesn't really matter. Just going to go in and zoom in. So you're going to see this normal line right here is not 90 degrees. It's a little bit slanted. You can see if it were 90 degrees, it would be following this grid, parallel. But this is not really 90 degrees. It's a little bit bent. So what this is essentially doing is it's bending that shading as well, because the shading is defined by these vertex normals here. So whenever you get like weird shading, whenever you add in a bevel, that is precisely what is happening here, right? You're going to see we have the nasty shading, and the reason for that is this normal is slightly bent, which is slightly bending the shading as well. So to fix this, what we actually want is we want a completely 90-degree perpendicular vertex normal. That'll keep the shading perfectly flat as well. I'm going to show you a few different ways to do this because this is going to give you a different perspective on how the stuff actually works, all right? So I'm going to show you an interesting example here. I'm just going to go into this face and I'm just going to press I to inset this just a little bit. And just to kind of show you, if I go into object mode now and go to a different matte cap, you're going to see compared to before, now we have perfect shading on this area. And just to really emphasize that, I'll just inset this entire portion right here. These connection points are a bit messed up if I'm honest, but it's not really a big deal for demonstration. I'll just inset that. And you're going to see the shading is actually perfect. This was the before. Let me turn this off. This is the after. This is the before. This is the after. Just by adding in an inset. Now, the reason the shading is now perfect is because the average between, these vertices right here, the average between a flat face and another flat face is just a perfect 90 degrees. Whereas before we did that inset, it was averaging between these two, which was not perfectly flat. This is a little bit curved in, as you can see. So whenever we're averaging a flat area and then another flat area, that's what the inset's doing. Now we're actually going to have where that inset was a perfect 90-degree line. And that's why we now have perfect, clean, flat shading just by adding in an inset. Now, the caveat here is this area is still going to have a little bit of, a distorted shading. If I kind of, go into this area, it's probably not very easy to see, but you're definitely still going to have a little bit of a shading distortion right on the inside of where we did that inset. Maybe I'll go to a different matte cap. It's a little bit distorted there. It's barely noticeable because it's such a small region, but you can kind of see the difference there. Now, another thing you can do is instead of doing an inset, what you could actually do here is you could go into edge mode. You go to select loop, select boundary loop. And now we're going to have all those boundary loops selected. And then what I could actually do here is I could right click and then go to mark sharp. What mark sharp is going to do is it's essentially going to force those normals in a perpendicular direction as well. So you can see the before and then the after, before and then the after. Now it doesn't actually update in this setting. To actually see that update, we need to go here to the custom split normals here. Now if I go into the side, if I undo that, this is before I add in the sharp. If I zoom in here, you can see it's a bit bent. And right when I right click and then mark the sharp, it forces that to be perpendicular. So we still have the average, but we also have that perpendicular direction there as well. You can see that very clearly. So that's another way to do it. And that is basically what mark sharp does. You've probably used it before, but never understood what it really did. Well, there you go. Now, by far the easiest solution is to just use a weighted normal modifier. This is essentially going to do the same thing non-destructively, okay? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to our add modifier. I'm going to go to normals and then weighted normal, okay? Now, if I turn on this keep sharp feature, it's going to keep a very sharp defined area around there. We don't usually want that. I tend to keep this turned off. And when I turn that off, it's going to have the nice bevel effect there. And we can basically leave these settings alone. We don't really need to change them here. So if I just go back into the side view here and I go in and I apply that weighted normal, now you're going to see we have a perpendicular vertex normal here. Whereas before we actually applied that, we do not. So weighted normal is essentially going to do the same exact thing. It's going to flex the shading non-destructively here. So you can do that as well. Now, in general, like I said, you do not want to actually, apply your bevel modifier. The only reason I did that was to demonstrate what's actually happening behind the scenes. Because if I don't apply the bevel, it's only going to, show us these single vertices right here. Whereas if I apply it, I have access to everything, right? So usually you don't want to apply your bevel modifier, but whenever you're using a bevel modifier, again, you can just use a simple weighted normal, and now you actually know what that's doing. Another option is just use the shading harden normals button here directly in the bevel modifier. You can do that as well, and it's going to do the same thing. So now if I were to turn this on and then I apply that bevel, you're going to see we actually have a mark sharp added around those edges. Whereas if I have this turned off, right, we don't actually have that. So what the harden normals and the bevel modifier is doing is essentially what I showed you before. It is just adding in a mark sharp manually. So maybe you want that effect, maybe you don't. You can see we have a very hard defined line right here. So if you don't like that effect, you can just keep the harden normals turned off instead of turned on. And instead you can use a weighted normal. And now we're going to have a much cleaner bevel effect there because we don't have a physical mark sharp applied to that area. So you would just apply everything here, and you're going to see we don't actually have a mark sharp applied to the outer portion. And that's why the shading is cleaner. So that is how the shading works in Blender. Whenever you have, super messed up shading like this, again, you can inset the faces, you can add a mark sharp, you can add a harden normals, you can add a weighted normal, but now you should actually understand what those settings actually do. So if you ever run into an issue, you kind of know where to, where to look. So just one more time, this is without the weighted normal, this is with the weighted normal, and now you actually know what's happening on a more technical level. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn our entire hard surface modeling workflow in under 2 weeks with about 30 to 60 minutes per day, make sure you check out our accelerator program in the link in the top of the description. We have over 4,000 students in here. They are all getting extremely good at hard surface modeling in about 2 weeks of time. You can see all the proof on the screen right now. So if you're interested in that or just want to learn more, click the link in the top of the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.